I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. Hi. Hey, how are you? Actually muted. Not anymore. How do I sound? What do you guys think? Do you like the new audio? Do you think it sounds alright? How does it sound? Welcome back. How are you? It sounds like shit. It does not sound like shit, okay? By the way, I only stream every 3 or 4 days, so I already know the joke. I already know the funny joke. With to put the mute thing up. You sound like you're in my head. Please get out of here. You sound like old Germa. It sounds too clean. It does sound worse. No, it doesn't. You know what the funniest part about this? In like 3 days, you guys will get used to this, and it'll just be normal. You sound like a 16-year-old. What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on, let me listen to it. Let me see how it sounds. You sound like 2010 Andy. This is what I hear. Okay? I am a quarter of a second delayed in my head. So I am listening to myself talking and I'm a quarter of a second delayed in my head. Okay, I have to mute that. I was hearing myself in my ears a quarter of a second after I talked. Okay. You sound like a librarian. I don't sound like a librarian. Look, it's gonna take a little bit of tweaking. I just got it set up. It's gonna take some tweaking. It's gonna take some finagling. It's fine. You sound like a podcast host. Well, okay, what's worse, podcast host or Germa, please go back to the setup you had. You sound like you're in my bathroom. I don't think there's any compression even on. All right, let's do a test. Ready? You guys can help me. All right, this is going to be a quick test. We're going to see how you guys feel about this. How do you guys feel about this? I turned off some setting, and now it sounds probably really awful. That sounds better. That's perfect. It sounds like an Xbox 360. Your voice is too crackly. It sounds exactly the same. Worse. It sounds the same. Okay? How about now? How does that sound? Do you guys like this better? Are you happier with this setup? Does this sound better? If I were to turn it up? It's very quiet. Well, okay. So how about this? You tell me. You tell me. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. How do you sound now? How you doing? Now you're too loud. You sound like a podcaster. That sounds really good. That was better before. I can't tell the difference. How do you sound? It's really too quiet. You sound like SpongeBob. What? It sounds like SpongeBob? Somebody said that's good, but you have the mute thing on. So you're full of shit. And look, there's no compressor on now, so if I get loud, it's gonna hurt your ears. Hold on. We're going back to this one. Oh my god. Okay. All right, I don't fucking care. My audio setup has sucked asshole since I started fucking YouTube back in like 2010, okay? Are you really here for the audio? Are you here for the audio? Are you here for the audio? Is that what you're here for? Huh? You here for the audio? I look like my fucking dad. Hold on. Are you even here for the audio? Okay, there we go. How do you? I think that sounds fine. Let me listen to it. Let me see how it sounds. Let me get it quick. I haven't changed my audio setup in like fucking 4.5 years. Okay. I think this sounds fine. This really does. Holy shit. Complainer Andes. This sounds fucking fine. This sounds flawless. If I get a little closer to the microphone, by the way, it's up here now. This sounds fucking flawless. This sounds. Let me get loud. It's too loud. Oh, it's too loud. Oh, it's too soft. I need the bed that's just right. Hold on. Bunch of fucking Goldilocks Andes. I have to stop monitoring because I can't even talk. How many times am I going to say Andy in the same day? Okay. I think it sounds great. I'm ready. That last bit sounded weird when you went high-pitched. Microphones are fucking stupid. Microphones suck. And, like, you're in a different place, too. I moved my... Look, this is here. It's in the way. Look at this. I don't even want to move it, but, like, because I got it in the right spot. This thing is aiming at me. I have this thing that's, like, aiming directly at me. It's literally aiming at me. Yeah, it's freaking me out. It actually is kind of freaking me out. This thing is literally aiming at me. Like a cannon. Dude, you got a duck. Alright, we're good. You sound like you have auto-tune on. No, I do not. I do not. I sat there for fucking an hour holding my hands like this and talking and going like A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E. And I was like, that sounds fine. So we're going to keep it the way it is. Check the gain. I think it's fine. It's fine. Look, I have to turn my gain up because, look, listen. Why can I not talk? I just like froze up. Listen to me. There you are. You're in a different spot now. Like the chat's like over here now. Like you're over there. I don't like this new thing. I'm going back to like it was in 2012 when I used to hold the mic like this because I didn't have a mic stand. The laugh had a distortion on it? Oh, well, we'll figure it out some other day. My audio's been too low. People have complained about how I'm not loud enough. People seem that the laugh had a tinny sound. Hold on. I know, look, trust me, we'll get on with it. Just hold on. Let me see. So when I laughed, it was a tinny sound. Oh my god, that is weird. What the fuck? Why is it doing that? Why? You're the loudest person on Twitch? No, I'm not. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that shit? Fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't sit there and put my headphones in and sit there and go, be like, what am I doing in here? You need to refund it. You're out constant. Am I too loud? But everybody says I'm too soft. The gain is too high. All right, I'm going to turn the gain down, and then we're going to get this right. We'll get it right. Okay, you ready? Boom. How's that? How are we feeling about this one? How do we feel about this? Do we feel pretty good about this? Are we feeling better about this? This is literally perfect right now. Okay, we have to do a test. Oh, I fucking hate that. Get off camera. The laugh is still weird? I think that was a weird laugh, man. Does that sound weird? You have a distortion filter on. I really don't. I promise, I really don't. It's phasing. Yeah, why is it phasing? Whatever. Look, the game we're playing is wicked fucked up today anyways, so look, just pretend it's part of the VHS filter. Yeah, who gives a shit? Let's go. I'll get it right. It's trying to cut off your weird voices. That's why. That's weird. All right. I just came in here just to do some settings. Should I turn the filter off? Should I turn the VHS filter off? Or what? I mean, everyone hates this, don't they? Turn it off. And lights off, too. All the lights are off in my whole house. Just don't laugh or don't make any weird sounds. I'll figure out the weird sound filter that I have for no reason. Your mic thinks your noises are inhuman and is filtering them out. That's so stupid. Whatever. I'm getting caught by a weird noise filter? I don't have a noise gate on. I don't have a compressor on right now either. I think this just hates me. Okay. The VHS filter kind of hurts my head. I'll keep the CRT filter on. If anyone has to complain about that, then get in line, because I've got like a lot of announcements to make today. Hold on, what? I haven't fucking ready to stream yet. Like, I got a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, I'm not even ready yet. Hold on, give me a second. I have some announcements. Announcement number 1. Are you ready? Over the next day or so, next couple of days, we are going to be officially. Did that sound weird? I just coughed normally. Green Screen Part 3, the finale. The final green screen stream is coming in the next week or two. I'm going back in front of the screen one last time. One final time. Ever. So what's going to happen is, just like in previous years, in the Discord, you are going to go to the Discord. The channel has to be created and has to be, the rules need to be pinned up and everything. But I need actions. I need things that you want me to do. Just like in previous years, we're going to have people curate a ton of actions. I myself am going to go do some things as well. I'm going to make my own actions up. Please do all the Fortnite dances. Well, let me just be very clear. This is the last time this is ever happening. 3 times in front of the green screen. There you go. That's it. We'll have the whole trilogy. And I'm going to do a green screen movie night at some point in June. I will tell you the hard date that I'm going to go in front of the screen, but for now, let's just make this really, really... My microphone sucks, dude. We'll make this really easy, and just, if you have actions, I would like to see you do this. I would like to see you do this. We're going to have a discussion channel to open up and some ways you guys can figure out what you want me to do. I'll give you more info soon. What's the status on baseball? July 14th. The baseball stream is happening July 14th. That's all you need to know. I'm not telling you anything else. Please use multiple outfits. Do this IRL. I just did! Yeah, a lot of Discord users probably coming in right now. I don't think it's there yet. I just wanted to talk about it now. The second thing I want to talk about is Auto. Auto is doing way better. If you missed the past weekend, Otto had a UTI, and it was actually really, really awful, really sad. He was throwing up. He was peeing 10, 20 times in a couple of hours. He was constantly, every 5-10 minutes, I gotta go out, I gotta go out, I gotta go out. It's like, all right, well, let's see what's going on. So I kind of canceled the whole weekend worth of streams, and we're picking up this horror stuff I was supposed to do 2 days ago. But he's been put on an antibiotic, and he is way better. I would say he's pretty much back to normal. He is almost 100% normal now. So that's really good, too. Really happy about that. The other thing I want to talk about let's talk about this. The archive channel, the VOD channel, you know, the Germa archive channel on YouTube that you've come to know and love over the years, is now officially an official channel that has been absorbed into the Germa network. So that's really, really cool too. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the archive channel has been uploading every stream I've ever done. And I mean, there are dating back to like 2014, 2015. Every single one. You need to upload the... guys, I don't even have access. Okay, people are like, hey, dude, back in like 2013, you did like a stream. You have like access to that stream? Like, we kind of want to see it. It's like, bro, I don't even know what computer I uploaded that on. You know, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. Hey, dude, you played like Diablo back in like 2012 on stream on YouTube. You have any like idea where I can find that? No. I don't know. I don't know where that would be. I have no fucking idea. Only 3 German channels. Hey, back in 2013, you did a stream. You have backup of that stream because a lot of us would like to see it. I have no fucking idea. Because I don't even know. I don't remember what I even had for breakfast yesterday. You think I remember what, like, hard drive from 10 years ago that I had some stream on it, maybe? I don't fucking know. Can we see the baseball stream in person? No. No. Sag. What about baseball merch? There will be baseball merch. A lot of it. And I'm really excited for it because it's gonna be... Oh, man. What do the kids say? It's gonna be... Give me some things that the kids say so I can sound fucking cool right now. I'm serious. They're gonna be some of the best merch you've ever seen in your whole life. It's gonna be awesome. Now, let's add a style right now. Bussin'. There you go. Oh man, you're gonna be wanting to take like fucking pictures of this. This is gonna be so sick, trust me. Alright, I got another thing to talk about, because this is something that I wanted to address. You probably noticed a few days ago, or a week ago now, that I VIP'd some new people, and revoked VIP for all those people. Well, some of them. And there's a very important reason for that. As you know, over the last 3 years or so. Where's mine? Precisely what I'm about to talk about. So VIP has been in this weird place in the channel for the last 3 or 4 years or so, because I haven't really given it to really anybody. I mean, maybe a few times during random streams and whatever, but besides the community leader stuff in the Discord, I haven't really given it to anybody. And what I realized, and what I'm gonna kind of change my rules here, I'm not giving VIP to anybody ever again. And there's very few specific reasons why. I cannot pick and choose people in this community. It seems like if I give VIP to somebody, there might be 10 other people that are disappointed. There might be 100 people that deserve it, but how can I possibly do that? Since this, I mean, there are 16,000 people here right now. Ever since this channel grew 2 or 3 times in the last 2 or 3 years, I cannot reliably pick out even probably 100 of you that I would be like, okay, should I? You've done this, you've been around, you've said this, you've been like an active member of the... It's just too many people I could give it to. So, no one's gonna get it. No one's gonna get VIP anymore. Unless you are somebody that I really need to see, like another streamer or a game dev comes in or whatever, right? And I want to see them, like in the chat. This is communism. What do you mean communism? I'm literally removing it from everybody. I'm not giving it to everybody. That's not... What are you talking about? Term of communist move. Mad communist. That's not communism. I'm about to disturb my microphone. Don't get me loud. I'm gonna Don't make me distort my microphone. No, but in all seriousness, no, it's too hard to pick, and I don't want people will get pissed off at each other, and I already see the issues of, hey, this person got VIP, why didn't I get it? Or this person doesn't deserve it for XYZ, and it's like, I just don't even want to do it. There's too many people to give it to. Too many people I could give it to. So, I'm just not going to give it to anybody. You understand? No cap, your mic is ass. VIP that person for an hour. The nuclear option. But sometimes you have to do the nuclear option. You really do. I don't want to give VIP to 5 people and have 5 other people then like get mad at those 5 people and cause ripples through the community of people that are just pissed off that they don't have it or that they don't think somebody deserves it. For real. I don't want to cause this big Germa's picking favorites and he gave it to this person but not to this person. It's a huge problem. It really could be. And so I don't even want to have it be a problem. And this is a horror game night, so you should be fucking scared. You have a webcam mic on. There's no webcam mic on right now. You know how angry that just made me, what you just said? You guys are gonna get used to it. New things are evil and awful, right? Remember when I had the new audio set up and everyone told me that like I'm the worst streamer on the website? I remember looking over at chat and people on my other audio setup that you've gotten used to over the last 2 or 3 years, right? Somebody wrote like this paragraph. I might be making this up. I don't know. I could be. But like I swear to God I looked over and someone was like, dude, like you're like probably the worst fucking Twitch streamer, like quality-wise and professional-wise or something. And I'm just like, what the hell? Let's go. Why is this here? I don't know. This is a mystery that we need to solve. Can you guys help me with this mystery? Why is there a chili cheese Frito here on my desk? For what? Why is this here? I'm not gonna eat it. What if it hit the ground? Why is it in here? The mic censored fuck, or did you not say it? I don't know. He saves all his production value for the big streams. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alright, this is Bloodwash. It's a scary game about, I don't know. People told me to play this. People said, hey, dude, play this game, and it's scary. And I've been sitting here for 30 minutes, so what production value? That's all I have to say about that. How do you not know what I'm doing?
What a day.
There's people talking.
Professor Watt was his usual miserable self, and that test was a killer. Hopefully I can just relax and...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Liam didn't do the laundry or clean. I'll have to do a load of laundry.
What are you...
I have an interview for a job tomorrow and have nothing to wear.
Those! No, I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing, that fucking meme. Okay. I actually just did it. Whatever. I don't care. Let's go.
I'll gather these clothes up and head to the laundry room in the basement. I'm going to have to talk to Liam later. I'm too upset and tired to go through it again.
Let me pay attention to this, because this is important.
Pull it together for this baby.
I need to pay attention. This is a scary game, and you're fucking with me. Do I turn the volume down on this? Should I turn it up or loud? This is one of those games that's gonna blow my eardrums out, right? I'm scared. I'm not scared of the jump scares. I'm scared of my ears hurting. Okay. Haven't had time to unpack yet. Not sure when I will. She did that on purpose. Not really, actually. I mean, I got like halfway through it, and then I realized that I was doing it, so I was like, fucking whatever. And then I started laughing about it. Hold on, I need to see it. Well, people were like, what do you mean, what am I talking about? It's so clear what I was pointing at. Soy Andy. Let me see if I did it on purpose.
I'll have to do a load of laundry.
What are you...
I have an interview for a job tomorrow and have nothing to wear.
Those! Yeah,
No, I'm
okay.
doing the thing. I'm doing...
Okay, so at about... So, of this clip right here.
Those!
At exactly 8 seconds, when my mouth opens and I say those, is when I realized that this is what I was doing. So I just held it. I froze.
No, I'm doing the...
And that's when it was, you know, it could have been on purpose at that point. It was not on purpose until about 7.5 seconds in that clip. Can I play the game before people scream at me for being the worst streamer on Twitch again? Okay, I'm done. Why do you hate Europeans? I live in the fucking America! I live in the United States of America on the westernmost coast of the country. You and I, when you're eating breakfast, dude, I'm going to bed. I'm like getting under the covers and like going to sleep when you wake up and you eat breakfast. When you go to bed, I'm like, oh, waking up, it's like fucking 11 o'clock in the morning. I live across the world from you. I live in the United States of America. He hates Europeans. All right, I need to leave. It's 3 a.m. right now. Dude, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, and I'm at peak happiness. So I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. I can't leave. I need to gather my dirty clothes. All right, let's get the dirty clothes. Pizza. Chair. Small black and white TV, okay? Okay. All right, how much dirty clothes do I have? Dirty clothes and Coke 24 packs. Did I get it all? Okay, I think I got it all. Is there a sprint? There is. What do you mean all my dirty clothes? No. Was that it? There we go. I think that's all the dirty laundry. Time to go to the basement. You didn't deny that you hate EU. What do you mean I hate EU? No, I'm saying I don't hate EU. I just said it. I said I don't hate EU. Why are you making that up? What, are you trying to make me look bad? I'm sorry that our clocks are different. Right now. Where's the basement? Oh, okay. Wait, what? Derma, keep me entertained while my bowels are being cleansed. That's from the Dusk Dev. I'm gonna try. A nice man lives here. It's good to know you have at least one good neighbor. Alright. Newspaper. Headline reads, Womb Ripper strikes again. In the early hours of the 30th, authorities were called when a passerby found a terribly mangled corpse haphazardly tossed on the nearby grounds. Sources indicate that the woman was indeed pregnant, and just like previous victims, the fetus was cut out and assumed to be taken by the assailant. This is now the 4th victim in as many weeks, and authorities are struggling to come up with leads in one of the most gruesome crime sprees the city has ever endured. What the fuck? A woman and her son live here. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen either one in about a week. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, also, you know what's different about this audio setup that a bunch of people are going to be really pissed off about? But I'll try to fix it eventually. I make a ton of mouth sounds, and now you can hear them all. See, before you couldn't hear any of those. See? I hate that. Okay. I don't need to go to that floor. Besides, one of the people on that floor has a mean dog. All right, we'll make sure we get over this really quick. Let's get over this really quick because I know that we're gonna see a lot of these. So let's just get over this for the next minute or so. Let's just get over this. Hold on, let me just get over this real quick. Let me just get over this. Okay. We're gonna get over this. Just bear with me while we go through these. Okay. Very nice. Yes, absolutely. Okay. I think that's BB-8, or whatever that character's name is. Okay. Yep. Just keep them coming. We're gonna blow through these. Uh-huh. Very nice. It's a pretty good website if you're looking for news or how did you what? Okay. That one's kind of big. Uh-huh. This one's but why are these so like who cares? It's like yeah, I'm sorry, but Las Vegas is fucking cool, okay? I'm sorry. Me pointing at the Las Vegas sign is not me pointing at the Reddit sign, because Vegas is fucking cool. I love this place. So, excuse me? Somebody made the template. But it's not even. Here's the template. Should I leave this on the stream? That's so stupid. Oh, this is so annoying. Wait, I've already done this? What do you mean? Hold on. A classic. I did already do this? This is from years ago. This is the hot air balloon. I didn't actually do this, did I? I fucking did. This is before anybody even gave a shit about this. This actually was from like 4 years ago. Before that meme, anyone even cared. Oh my god, I look like shit. I look tired. What's wrong with my eyes? Why do I look so fucking disheveled? Okay. This one, we'll just put this one up and then I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna play the horror game that I'm supposed to be playing. But, you know, why not show this one too? This is gonna be a favorite, I think. You look like a newly discovered fish. Alright, dude. Okay. That was fun. Let's play the video game. Do I have audio? Alright. You look like a taxidermy fish. What do you look like at 8 o'clock in the morning? Oh, that's loud. That's very loud. It hurts. I gotta... Alright, this is the last one I'm gonna show, I promise. Nice zit. An old tire. Actually, I don't like the CRT filter. It kind of makes me want to throw up. Out of order? Turn it off. Yeah, it kind of makes me want to puke. Fuck. It's worse. It smells like it hasn't been taken out in months. Out of order? What am I gonna do now? I should probably go back upstairs and figure something out. Turn the head bomb off. I think I heard something coming from the closet. I think I need to keep it on. I think it's designed to have it on. Because it looks weird now. Yeah, it looks... It somehow looks worse the other way. What do you mean from the closet? Oh, that hurts. I don't need to go through there. Loud, by the way. It's probably going to be loud. Somebody's probably going to jump in front of the screen. Go back. You ignored this jump scare. What?
frame-by-frame animation is hard, but I...
Alright, today's video is about rendering beeswax and the process I use to do so. It's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be for me. This is the first time I've ever done it, and I'm going to be refining the process in the future, but for now, this is what I do. Alright, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you'll see that I did a cutout of a beehive in a house here a little while back. And along with that, I ended up with a bunch of comb that needs to be rendered down into raw beeswax. I can use that beeswax later to put on frames for bees and help them to establish their hive easier. There's also a lot of comb that had honey in it that was unusable, other than to give back to the bees. Now the comb that I could use, I strapped onto these empty frames with rubber bands to hold in place. And that way the bees don't have to draw out new comb. They can just go right to work laying eggs and putting resources in it. So I basically took all of the messy honeycomb and put in these 5-gallon buckets. So once I get it home, I use my hands and kind of crush up the honeycomb and release the honey from the cells. And then I put it in this sieve device, and it sits and drips down through it and separates the honey from the honeycomb. Now I do this because I'm going to stick this in the hive and let the bees have it back. But if I just stick raw honeycomb in there, it'll drip all down through the hive and make a big old mess and possibly overwhelm the bees. So I'll feed this raw honey back later, but right now I'm going to separate it. This is what the comb looks like after it's set overnight and drained. It's still sticky with honey, but the vast majority of it has dripped down. Now a lot of this honey is unusable for humans. This hive was in the house for over 8 years. So, 8 years of tons of bees crawling all over the comb just gets the comb dirty and nasty. You can see how black this comb is. That's from just years and years of use. Babies after babies after babies being born in it and bringing in dirt from workers and stuff like that. So, that honey has taken on a flavor that's not very pleasant, and it's just not usable. You'll never separate all that dirt and stuff out of the honey. So, bees don't mind. They'll take it right back. And what I've done here is just added a medium honey super on top, which made an open cavity up in the top of the hive. I dump all this comb in here, and then of course you got to clear the top entrance there so the bees can come up out of the hive into this honeycomb. And they'll just walk up in here and they will clean every drop of honey off of this, and it'll be dry as a bone in a couple days. So once the bees have cleaned all the honeycomb, I take it out and I put it in these containers, and I just let it sit out there so the bees can kind of finish picking over it. And once I dump this honeycomb in there, there's some residual honey in the bottom of the bucket, and it don't take long for all the bees in the yard to find it. They basically pile in there and stack on top of each other and smash each other down into the honey. It's like a giant mud wrestling competition, but with honey. And the bees will easily drown, so the only way to really save them is to dump them out onto a flat surface. Now they're all covered in honey. You can kind of see it glistening off their wings. And what they're going to do is go around and clean each other. They kind of got to do this because, they're not going to survive if they can't breathe. They're covered in honey. You'll notice they're all cleaning each other. So if you listen real close, though, you can hear them and what they're saying. What? This is a few days later, and we're removing the same comb you just saw me put in there. And you can see they've picked it completely clean. Look at the amount of bees that are in there. They've taken every bit of that residual honey and moved it back down into the hive where they can use it. So once you've got it all dry like this, it's time to boil it. about 4 inches of water in the bottom of a big deep pan, and it started boiling. Now I would recommend using utensils and pans and anything you use, make it specific to this process, because you cannot get beeswax off of something to save your life. It's just a mess. I think I got this pan for $6-7 at Walmart. So anyway, get a good rolling boil going and just start dropping your comb in there and let it boil. There's a lot of extra junk in old honeycomb like this. Whenever a larvae pupates, it leaves capsules and material in there. You can kind of see the little shiny bits. That's just excess material that's not going to melt down in the water. And all the dirt and debris, pieces of whatever. There's a bunch of dead bees that are mixed in. It all just kind of settles to the top in these pots and looks horrendous. Definitely don't want to eat this pot of beans. Now once it's been boiled real good, it's time to start separating the junk from the wax. You can kind of see the yellow wax floating on the surface there and coating the stick. I definitely recommend a lid. Keep it from splashing all over the place. There's all the junk that needs to come out. So I use a little strainer and just kind of shake it a little bit. I also try to press it out and get what I can out of it, basically. Definitely don't want to let as much as you can, you don't want to let it go to waste. There's a lot of wax that's retained in this material. And you get all this junk, that would probably be best. It makes quite the mess. But the next day after it's cooled down, here we have hardened wax. And the bees have already found it. So you just basically take your pot and dump it in all the nasty water. And there's your block of beeswax. A lot of the nasty will be retained on the back of it. So I just like to take a scraper and just kind of scratch off what I can of it and try to get it as clean as possible. That'll make the next process just a little bit easier. So for the final part of the process, I took a empty bee frame and just attached some screen to it with staples. Then filled a turkey pan with water, something I can throw away. Then I lined this with paper towels, 2 different layers. And then I just stack these chunks in here, so all the excess debris in there will melt down through it inside the oven. Just try to stack them on here the best you can, and I got a pretty good pile. And you slide it into the oven. I put a layer of aluminum foil underneath of it to catch any possible drippage, since the bee frame overlaps. And then checking on it, you can see that it's slowly melting and dripping down through the paper towels. And after the process is over with, this is what you're left. As you can see, the dirt didn't penetrate the paper towel. It all just stays on the surface, and the wax just runs right through. Now some wax is lost to the paper towel, but that's all right. The majority of it we got. So you can see a little bit of dirt made it through to the second layer, but the second layer stopped it. And there's a little bit of heavy buildup in certain spots. But whatever you do, don't throw this stuff away. These things make great fire starters. Wax-covered paper towels is just like a giant candle. Tear it up into little sheets, something that you can store easily and travel with. Easy to throw in a backpack and use as a fire starter. And being that it's covered in wax, it's waterproof. Dunk it in water, pour water over it, no problem. A little bit of water residue on the outside makes the flame just take a second to catch, but once it does, burns great. And it'll sit there and burn slowly as it consumes the wax over the paper towel. Just wedge it in a fire and you're good to go. And I like to square them all up, throw them in a giant Ziploc, take the air out of them, and store them. Checking back in on the wax, you can see it's starting to harden, and it looks like there was a little dripping going on. Alright, now that the wax is hardened overnight, we're going to drain the water out of the pan and find out real quick that this stuff is stuck to this turkey pan like glue. It took a little bit of manipulation, but finally got it to break loose. And voila, you got a big chunk of wax. Now the thing I use beeswax for is to put on empty frames that are going in the hive. The frames are made out of plastic, and the bees recognize the plastic as a foreign material, so sometimes they're reluctant to build on them. And by adding some of their own beeswax to the plastic, it encourages them to build. Now if you don't have the beeswax on it, sometimes it can look like this. This is the plastic. And then they'll build a section that's raised up off of the plastic that they can travel underneath. It's almost like they don't want to touch the plastic. So now the question is what to do with this big chunk of wax. So I've got some molds, and you got to get yourself some canola oil or cooking spray, something that can help release it. You can buy a special spray just for releasing stuff from molds. I like to take a little paper towel and just kind of dab the excess out of it so it don't mess with the molding process. And then heat up your wax. Admittedly, this is not the best pan for this. It doesn't pour evenly and it goes all over the place. Made quite the mess doing this. But like I said, we'll refine this in the future. Fill up your mold and let it cool. Next thing you know, you got 1 ounce bars of beeswax. You can throw these in a Ziploc bag pretty easily and store them and use them whenever you're ready if you want to do candles or add them to bee frames later on. Whatever you want to do, they're easy, compact. Just grab you a handful of them, throw them in, melt them down, and use them however you need. Now you can also do candles, and this here is just a little test thing that I did. I rolled up a piece of paper towel and dipped it. And there you see it. Makes a little candle. You can get a kit made specifically for making candles. But anyway, stick her down here and we'll light her up and see what she does. A large block of wax can be really hard to deal with, so making it manageable like this is a lifesaver. They also have other molds. This is a silicone mold. It's very pliable and it releases the wax so well. I wish I could find a 1 ounce bar mold that's silicone. This is the wax drying time lapse. And you end up with bars like this. I'm not sure how many ounces each of these are, but much better than a big block. Alright, so that's my process for rendering beeswax from raw honeycomb to finished product. Like I said, there'll be some refining to this technique as I come up with new ideas and try different things. But for now, that's how I do it. Now, one thing I will say is this is really messy, and I had to do a lot of cleanup as I went. Thank goodness for a solid...
Hello! Mr. Ed here. Today is March 13th, 2020. I'm up at the Abbey. And you know what this stuff is right here? Beeswax. I've been rendering wax now probably for 4 weeks. Just going through my supplies of cutout wax and cappings and any kind of wax that I've been finding in the honey house. I've been melting, and it's taken a while. I've probably processed these 4 blocks of wax at least 3 times each. This one on the bottom, I still haven't. This probably only 2 times with this one on the bottom. You can see the color's a little bit darker. These right here, I know I've got these at least 4 times. And what I'm getting ready to do is melt some more wax. Today is the last batch of wax that I've got. I had 3 more batches to do. I've done 2 of them already. They're already in the bucket starting to cool. I'm getting ready to melt the last one. So I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and show you how I'm going to melt this last one. The kettle's already heated up. I'm just ready to drop the old comb inside of it, and we're going to get another batch done. And what the video is going to be about is what I use this wax for. It's going to be something a little different, but hopefully later on in the video I'll explain it and you'll be able to follow along and maybe get an understanding of what I use, another thing that I use our wax for here up at the Abbey. So by the grace of God, go ahead and get this little job done today, melt some more wax. It'll take another few more days before we get this video all done, but by this weekend it'll be finished. Let's go wrangle and melt some wax, huh? So now we're inside the maintenance building, looking at our kettle right here. That's our next bag of wax that we're going to be dumping into the kettle. And let me show you what I've already melted this morning. We got this bucket right here and this bucket right here. We already got two of them. By tomorrow these things will be cooled down, all three of them. And we'll be able to render them one more time, getting them to be about the same condition as those guys right there. As you can see, the kettle's already heated up, ready to have our wax dropped in it, so let's go ahead and drop it in there. So with our wax dropped in, just going to spread it out a little bit. And as hot as this water is already, and as fine as this wax is, there's a lot of chopped up wax in this one. This one is not going to take long to melt at all. So we're going to close the lid on this. And I'm telling you, it's only going to be 10 minutes, 15 at tops. And this stuff will be rendered down into one mass. Of course, there's going to be a lot of cocoons and stuff in there. So we'll get all that stuff filtered out. And when we do, then we'll go ahead and drain it into our bucket and let it start cooling. All right, that should be good enough for right now. Close the lid and check back on this in 10 minutes. Our 10-minute timer just dinged. Let's go ahead and check what we look like inside. Oh yeah. Huh? Some steam there. Very, very nice. Got the fire turned off. Everything is broken down. I got a different way of putting my screen in this time. I actually roll the screen up this time and stick it inside of the nozzle instead of having it around the entire kettle. I've worked that way this morning twice already. It seemed to work really great. And I'll fish some of this, well, most of this cocoon stuff out with a fish fryer basket. And it'll really help take that load off of the straining of the wax and water through this screen once I open up the gate. Let's go ahead and start skimming off these cocoons. The next process, I'm using this old fish frying basket. And what I do is I'll go through the kettle picking up a bunch of these cocoons and then just letting that wax strain out of it, just like they do when they're frying French fries at McDonald's. And then once I get a good bit of that wax out of there, because you know I don't like to waste this stuff, and I'm just going to go ahead and dump it into my little tray right here. And go on to the next batch. This method is a little bit more labor intense, but I think it cleans the wax a little bit better because I leave majority of the stuff in the kettle and a lot of the wax will come out of it instead of me losing it in the cocoons. Now that I got the majority of the big stuff out, I'll use a smaller board to screen this stuff out. That's all the screening that I need to do. I know I didn't get it all out, got a lot of it out, but it's not necessary to get a lot of it out because by keeping this screen in here, it's going to prevent the nasty stuff to getting inside of my wax. And also, it'll stay inside the kettle and it'll trap a lot of the dirt that way too. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my little net over my filtering net over my bucket, and we're going to open up the gate. Now as I open the gate, you'll see the water and wax level decrease, as well as all the trash start building up along the screen. Now I've removed the gate and just allowing the wax now just to finish flowing out. And you can see this is all wax that's floating out of this kettle now. And there is still a lot of wax in here. And because of our kettle is still hot, very hot, it'll remain in that liquid state for at least 10-15 minutes. And in that whole time that it's in that liquid state, it'll just be easing out little by little our wax. This is all the debris that I caught. That screen inside the neck of this kettle really is a great idea. It worked really well. And at this point I can remove my little screen right here because no more dirt is going to come out. It's going to be trapped inside. So we'll take this off right now. And as our wax continues to come out, I'm going to just go ahead and close the kettle, let that heat stay in there a little bit longer, and we'll get this thing done in about 10 more minutes. Our wax sickle is growing pretty big now. So that means things are starting to cool down. Like, let's go ahead and look at inside of the kettle. Yeah, it's all pretty much down to the end. I'm not interested in getting any more because it's just going to get dirtier. The wax just get dirtier. So we'll just call it quits on this one. And we're going to go ahead and close this one up. Our kettle's all cleaned up now. There's the wax that we just rendered. And we're set for tomorrow. So we'll pick this video up tomorrow. We're going to re-render this wax as well as these two right here. And this is all the debris that I took out of this batch. This stuff makes excellent fire starter, compost pile. I mean, a lot of good stuff for this other than the dumpster. And so we use it for a few things over here. All right, let's pick this video up tomorrow. Now here are 3 buckets with wax in it. This one kind of, when I was moving the water spilled over it. This one, not so much. But so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and dump these out and then scrape off the bottoms and go ahead and drop them back into the kettle. And you can see there's some bees in that one. And there's one there too. All right, let's go ahead and dump this stuff out and see what we're looking at. Here's that little pancakes. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. And we're going to melt these one more time and clean them up a little bit more. What I have to do before I do that, throw them in the kettle again, I gotta scrape this stuff off the bottom, the dirt off the bottom of these. by scraping the bottom off. It'll help clean it up a little bit. It's good enough. Let's go ahead and bring them into the kettle and start melting these guys down. Already got the water boiling. Well, as you can tell, the kettle is ready to go. And this is the wax that we just finished doing. I'm just going to set it in here, get it cleaned up one more time. I don't think it's going to take but 15-20 minutes to get this stuff melted. These aren't really big blocks. Get it melted down, strain it one more time, let it cool, and these guys will be ready for the next step. We'll check back in about 20 minutes or so. It's already starting to melt. In fact, let me show you the picture of that. Our water was already boiling, so as soon as that wax hit it, it started to melt, and you can see that yellow coming out. Like I said, it's not going to take long for these little blocks to melt down. All right, we're at about 10 minutes right now, give or take. And, oh yeah, we're done. So I'm going to put the strainer over the bucket right now, open up the gate, let the hot wax come out, catch whatever trash is in there, let it cool overnight. Our screen didn't catch that much stuff. There wasn't that much in it. A couple of bees that died when they got into that wax when they smelled it. Even in the finer, there wasn't a lot down there. That's good. This rendering will come out really nice. Well, looks okay to me. We'll find out tomorrow what it looks like. We'll take it out the bucket tomorrow. I'll give you a shot at what that looks like, clean it up a little bit, and that should be good enough for what we need to be doing afterwards. We'll pick this up tomorrow. It's been 2 days since I came out here and to look at this wax. I had to work all day yesterday getting all these boxes moved up inside of here in preparation for what I'm coming to next. But let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that looks really, really nice. So this cover right here that was on top of the wax, somebody had suggested on one of my videos that I should put cardboard or something over it to retain the heat, so that way when it cools you wouldn't get any cracks in the surface. That worked really good. That's a beautiful piece of wax. So let's go ahead and shake this thing out of the bucket and see how much we got in there and what it looks like. All right, let's see what we got. Look at that. That is a nice chunk of wax now. Instead of those 3 little ones, one beautiful one. Scrape this stuff off of here. There you are. All cleaned up. That's very nice. So I'm going to just go ahead and add this to the pile that we've already got. And let me show you something else too. And here's all the wax. All this wax. I hadn't weighed it yet, but I'm guessing this has got to be over 50 pounds of wax. All this wax. Oh, this is I forgot when I took the original picture, I forgot to put this block in. These are the cappings from our cappings. It's all white. That's why it's such a different color between this and all the rest of them. This is our cappings wax. So, but all this wax is going to get melted again into our kettle, and eventually it's going to be used to coat our frames. Well, not this one, because this got drawn out foam on it, but all these other ones that don't have drawn out foam on it. So that's really going to be the next part of the video, melting all this part, all the wax down, and then how I transfer the wax onto the frames. So we're going to pick this up tomorrow. It's now Saturday morning, March 18th. I'm finally getting around to melting all the wax. Well, not all the wax. This is only about 80 pounds of it that I've got in here right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and melt all this wax down. It's about 6:45 in the morning right now. I don't know how long it's going to take for all that wax to get melted down, but I guess we're going to find out. I'm hoping in about an hour and a half we should be all liquid again, in which case we can start doing our final step, putting the wax on our frames. So we're right about 50 minutes. Let's open her up and see what we're looking like. Oh man, I'm really surprised at that wax. It looks like it's all been melted already. Man, that is really nice. That is gorgeous nice. All right, so now to the nitty gritty of what this video is all about. So you've seen I've melted the wax. We had all that wax. So what do you use the wax for? What do I use the wax for? And some of it is used in our candle production, in making lotions. In fact, later on I am going to make a video on melting the cappings and what we do with that, how they make the lotions and the candles, and that'll be down the road. But for today, what we're doing with our wax today is we're melting those blocks, and you've already seen that I've got those things in the kettle. And we're melting those blocks to then put on our foundation. So, here's your frame with your plastic foundation in it. Plastic foundation, I'm a great big fan of it. Mostly because when I put the frame of honey in my extractor and spin it out, the comb stays on the frame. I've had in the past where the comb blows out, falls out, just from that centrifugal force of the extractor. But with a plastic foundation, it will always stay on there. The problem with plastic foundation, bees don't want to build on it. And if you just drop one of these frames with the plastic foundation on it into your box, they might draw comb on it. And it's no guarantee that they will. And the comb that they draw on it, often they build that comb off of the frame itself. So there's a gap between the comb and the frame. And that gap is absolutely terrible if you think you're going to try to spin that, because that will blow off the frame as well. So to encourage the bees to build on the plastic foundation as well as on the frame itself, what we do is we coat it with wax. What I do is I coat it with wax. And for years, I used my little crock pot right here. And you can tell it has been very well used. I would fill this crock pot up with enough wax, and it would do 30 frames. That's what it would take, 30 frames to do one pot. And how I would do it, I'd put the wax in there, melt it, and then I'd use a roller, a little foam roller, dip the roller into the wax, and then simply roll it out